The relationship between Vladimir Putin and Donald Trump is one of the most controversial and enigmatic in recent political history. For some, it's an opportunistic alliance. For others, a shared worldview. But one thing is clear. Their connection is reshaping the global political map, especially now that Trump is back in the White House. From the very beginning of Trump's political career, his admiration for Putin has been visible and consistent. And Putin, strategically, has returned the gesture with careful diplomacy. Their language may differ, but their priorities often align. What makes this relationship so unique? First, the mutual respect. Trump has repeatedly praised Putin's leadership, calling him a strong, intelligent, and effective ruler. For Trump, Putin represents order, control, and a certain type of leadership that he openly admires. While Western leaders often confront the Kremlin, Trump has taken a different approach: negotiation, admiration, and, above all, realpolitik. Putin, for his part, has shown patience and a pragmatic understanding of Trump's power and influence. Rather than attacking or criticizing, he has sought to build bridges. Not because of ideological affinity, but because he sees in Trump a strategic opportunity. A U.S. president willing to reduce friction with Moscow and potentially withdraw American influence from Eastern Europe. One of the clearest examples of this alliance is Trump's current stance on the war in Ukraine. As president, he has openly pressured Volodymyr Zelensky to accept a ceasefire deal. The terms? Freeze the conflict and cede occupied territories to Russia. A plan that, in practice, aligns with the Kremlin's objectives, consolidating its control in Donbass and Crimea, weakening Ukraine's aspirations to join NATO, and dividing the West. For Putin, this diplomatic pressure from Washington is an unexpected gift. Without firing a single shot, he could achieve what seemed impossible just months ago: the de facto recognition of Russian control over Ukrainian territory by the United States. But Trump's position goes beyond Ukraine. He has repeatedly questioned NATO's role, threatened to withdraw support from allies who don't pay enough, and open the door to a more isolationist America. This benefits Putin directly. A less involved U.S. means a freer hand for Russia in its sphere of influence. Eastern Europe, the Caucasus, Central Asia, regions where Moscow seeks to reaffirm its dominance without the constant shadow of Washington. Still, the alliance between Putin and Trump is not without risks. Although they share certain interests, they are both unpredictable, ambitious leaders with conflicting national agendas. Trump wants to project power without military entanglements, focusing on domestic growth and cutting international commitments. Putin, on the other hand, seeks to restore Russia's imperial stature, reclaim geopolitical ground, and weaken Western influence. Their relationship is less about ideology and more about convergence of strategic goals, temporary, perhaps, but powerful while it lasts. And then there's Europe. With Trump pushing for a deal in Ukraine that favors Moscow, and a Washington less committed to NATO, Europe finds itself at a critical crossroads. Should it take on greater responsibility for its own defense? Should it negotiate directly with Russia? Or should it prepare for a long-term strategic autonomy? This scenario forces the European Union to rethink its role on the world stage. The U.S., once its unwavering partner, is now unpredictable. And Putin, far from being isolated, is finding room to maneuver thanks to Trump's policies. Meanwhile, Ukraine is caught in the middle. Zelensky faces enormous pressure. The Trump administration demands peace on terms that would be seen by many Ukrainians as a surrender. If Kyiv resists, it risks losing U.S. support. If it accepts, it could fracture its own society and give Putin a historic victory. In this context, the Putin-Trump relationship becomes much more than a simple diplomatic connection. It's a geopolitical tool capable of redefining borders, altering military alliances, and redrawing the balance of power in the 21st century. There are many open questions. Will Trump go even further and lift sanctions on Russia? Will Putin make concessions to ensure Trump's success on the international stage? Could this alliance turn into a new global order where bilateral deals replace multilateral institutions? What's certain is that the world is watching. And while many in Washington worry about the implications of this closeness, in the Kremlin they see a window of opportunity. To reclaim influence, to divide the West, and to establish a new era of relations between Moscow and Washington. This is not a relationship of friendship. It's a relationship of mutual interest, strategic calculation, and, above all, power. A relationship that could define the future of Europe, the fate of Ukraine, and the position of the United States in the world for years to come. Follow our channel for more analysis. Hit like if you found this interesting, subscribe and turn on the notifications. See you next time.